I want to talk about healing today. That's today's topic, healing. How to find out what emotions are still there in your body, and how to find out the emotions that you need to heal. First, number one, find the problem. Find the problem that you're going through. So let's say. Okay, hey guys. So we are back with That Spiritual Mindset, and today I'm going to be doing a video about healing. So I understand that a lot of people are in different phases in their life, and a lot of times a lot of situations can come in their direction, but due to the fact of fear or pain or past emotions coming in between, they can choose not to deal with that emotion in the present, and that could lead them to that could literally block them from doing wonderful things that they ever wanted to do or that they ever imagined doing. And I want to talk about healing today. That's today's topic, healing. How to find out what emotions are still there in your body, and how to find out the emotions that you need to heal. First, number one, find the problem. Find the problem that you're going through. So let's say, for example, one of the problems that you're going through is you're not able to do the things that you want to do on a daily basis, and you're being pulled over by somebody else, or you feel that you're in this sense of dependency, and because somebody did something for you, so you have to compliment them, and that's where all your time goes, and you're spending more time towards somebody else than yourself. You have to ask yourself the question as to why this is happening, as to why am I spending more time with somebody else or doing something else for somebody else than me spending time with myself. And for every problem there's always a reason. It could most likely could be like a past cause. Maybe you were raised that way, or maybe someone taught you to do that and it became a norm and you continue doing that and you never thought of questioning it. But when you became big, you see yourself doing work for so many other people that you don't have the time to focus on yourself, and you feel depressed, you feel drained out. So whatever the problem is, the first reason is you're feeling drained out. And when you're feeling drained out, you want to find what the problem is. Okay, before going to the solution directly, you want to find out the root cause of the problem. Where is the problem arising from? For every question in this process, ask the question, why is it happening? Let's say I'm giving away more of myself to somebody else. Why is it happening? Okay, think about it. Maybe what's causing you to happen? What's causing you to do it? Maybe you think, okay, if I do this for somebody else, then if I do this for somebody else, then they're gonna like me. Or it could be a factor of wanting to be loved by other people. That was one of my causes, actually. I was in a phase like this where I used to do a lot of things for other people, and I used to expect something from them in return. And it was also in relationships where I used to expect things from other people in return, and I used to do it first. Me being a Pisces, we are like givers, and sometimes we just forget to receive. So for me, it was like a necessity of being loved. Then I asked myself, why do I need to be loved by these people? What causes me to give something to be loved? Because of the need for society's attention, or because of the need for attention in general? Then I asked myself, why do I need attention? And then I started to realize that, oh, maybe I was not giving myself enough love from myself. that I'm dependent on love from an external source of external source of being. Another reason could be like one of my close like relative, I wouldn't say relative, like a close one from me, they had this problem, they have the same problem, but the problem of like thinking that the society would call them selfish. So it's a problem where you always want the society to think good about you, and you always want the society to be like, oh, she's like the best person, and you always want the society to have a good name on you. But when you start analyzing the problem in its deeper core, once again it comes to the fact that self-love. And so most of these two things is self-love or self-respect. Okay, you either don't have self-love or self-respect, or you don't have both, you're expecting this love or respect from the society, and so you're doing things to the society in order to expect a return from the society, and this is causing the blockage. Okay, you should also see, once you find out what the problem is, you can also see where the problem arises from, maybe from the past that, like in my past, I was bullied, so I thought I didn't make a good impression on the people who were trying to bully me, and so I started giving and giving and giving and giving, and I didn't start receiving anything, and I was like, oh, what a pathetic life. So that was like one of the situations in my growth process. And how I overcame that is, at one point of time I was so tired of giving and not receiving anything, so I started to decode this. I started to ask myself, what's going wrong? There is something that should be going wrong, because many times you would have heard, oh, okay, if you give, you'll receive, if you give here, you'll receive. But sometimes if you don't even have self-love for yourself, and then you give that, then you can't receive anything. As to the fact, like, let's say if you ordered a cake, yeah, and then you gave like there are 8 slices, and you gave 5 slices to somebody, and you gave 3 slices to another person, and then you have nothing for yourself to eat, so now you're starving. And when this process goes, obviously you're continuously starving. You get the next cake, again you're giving it away, expecting something in return, but it doesn't happen. So you left starving, and when you're left starving of self-love, and you're left starving of self-respect. So once you come to these decoding problems, you got to ask yourself, okay, am I lacking self-love, and because of which I'm going through all these troubles? Or am I lacking self-respect, and because of which I'm going through all these troubles? How can I heal that? And when you start doing for self-love, you can start drawing lines. You can start drawing lines saying that, oh, okay, I'm not gonna give anymore until and unless I can at least feed myself a little bit. And when somebody asks me for help, I'm just going to politely tell them that no, I really don't have time this time. Maybe once I finish my work or whatever, I could try to help you. Or even if I don't want to do it, I would just say, like, in my case, if I wouldn't want to do it, if it's not my cup of tea to help somebody else in that part of their growth process or any activity, may it be, I'll just be like, hey, I don't think I can do it. So when you start drawing lines, people start respecting that line. And when people start respecting that line, sometimes you realize that problem doesn't even exist no more. It was a problem within yourself. And when you said no, the other person actually listened to it, and he stopped asking you for any more favors. He's still your friend, but he stopped asking you. He didn't take it as bad as you think he would have taken it. Okay, that is a problem where you deal with self-love, and you show yourself more love, and which also comes to the fact that when you don't show yourself respect, that is, when you don't show yourself self-respect, if somebody comes and just blabbers on you, if somebody comes and if you don't help somebody and they start cussing at you, you don't take their words as something that, oh, if somebody comes and tells you, oh, you're selfish, Chris, you didn't even help me, you don't take that as granted, because of the fact that you have enough self-respect for yourself, that you know who you are deep within. It's just that you were in a position to help them because you couldn't help yourself first, and you want to help yourself first, and then you want to help them. And when they are projecting that on you, they are in a place where they are unhealed as well. So you got to understand that they are in a position where they're unhealed as well, and they are just projecting that feeling of not getting that feeling of entitlement, rather, of not getting what they want onto you, pretty much, that anger of not being not having to be entitled, or however you can call it. So healing is a very important process, and mostly 90% of the time it just boils down to self-love and self-respect, which are the two core key concepts in healing yourself. And once you start healing yourself, you'll see your friends change, your society change. And once you let go of those dirty detachments, you should realize that if you let go of these detachments, don't feel lonely or don't feel like scared, as to like, don't let fear consume you. Fear can also be an important part. Fear of maybe not doing this is going to make them do something in return, and fear can also be an important thing. And don't let the fear consume you. Don't let the fear like eat you up, as to like, oh, if I don't have these friends in my life, what am I going to do? Who is going to be there for me? And who's going to talk to me anymore? Why? Because of the fact that when you get rid of these people, when you get rid of things, when you detach from the things that don't serve you, when you detach from the things that don't serve you, this is important, your whole life around you changes for your good. Your old friends get detached, all their negativities, and they're clinging on to you, and all these dramatic events that's happening in your life, everything gets detached, and a new life adapts to the vibration you are in right now. When you vibration pretty much depends on an understanding level. Okay, your understanding level gets more and more and more about yourself. Your vibration increases more and more and more, and you start resonating with people who think like you now. Now you're not thinking about the person who's like so interested in money, and you're not hanging around with the other person who is super egoistic and narcissistic, that he wants only things to himself. You're not hanging around these people more because you have healed that part that ultimately gave you that self-love that you needed for yourself. And once you're giving yourself that self-love, you realize that, oh, now this guy is not serving me anymore, because I don't have to provide to him, because I can provide for myself. So I don't have to provide to him and he gives me something in return. No, you provide for yourself, and once you start providing for yourself, you learn the values of self-love and self-respect and how important they can be in healing. And once you start doing that, once you start understanding these things in your life, your vibration literally goes up. It skyrockets to the position where you eventually maybe start getting your awakening, and then you start learning more about depth. You do a lot of self-improvement. Usually a lot of self-improvement eventually leads to awakening. Many a times there could be like a huge incident that happened, and then the self-development comes right after that incident, huge like traumatic incident, and then the self-development comes after the incident. After the self-development, healing process comes, and after the healing process comes, you see a shit ton of repeating numbers, 1 1 1 2 2 2 5 5 5, and then your spiritual awakening happens, and a whole another process is right there. But this is all about healing, and healing is very important, because healing can always put a barrier in front of you that you cannot even see. It's like an invisible wall that you always want to break and get out of, but you don't know where the damn wall is. You know, you hit the wall only when you come against it, only when you come across it, and then that's when it strikes, and you're like, oh my god, I still can't see the wall. Where do I take the hammer and hit the wall? But once you realize the position of the wall and what the wall is actually blocking you from, then you want to go further, and now you know where to take the axe and hit the wall and break it down, so that you can go further, understand further, and the further you understand, the faster you grow. The happier you become, and the happier you become, you just end up serving the world, serving yourself in the process. It's a very wonderful thing, definitely, after you heal. So that's it for today, and this video is from That Spiritual Mindset, and this video was about healing. So be sure to if you like it, be sure to like it. If you like it, subscribe, and you can also hit the bell notification to get more notifications on other videos as well. Peace.